Welcome, everyone, to Willow Talk. Great to be back in the studio after a couple of interviews with a couple of legends. Adam Peacock here with a couple of legends right now. Alyssa Healy, how are you?
Hi, nice to be back.
Yes, great to be back. And Dan Christian's in as well. How are you, DC?
Going well, thanks.
That's the way.
Nice to be back.
You've got a newborn in the house and you look remarkably fresh. That's the secret.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more sleep than my wife at the moment.
Ah,
But we
well done.
we decided that one of us has to get sleep, so
Okay.
rather than
So it was you.
rather than both, so, yeah,
Hang on a minute.
someone's got to look after the
Oh,
2.5-year-old.
okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Dan doesn't carry the food, so if you know what I mean. So, yeah, no, that's the way. You'll get yours, though. Don't worry.
Yeah,
The eldest one's a girl, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so give it 10 years when she gets a year 8. Come back and see how fresh you're looking. Anyway, God bless tequila. Let's have a look at what's coming up on the show today. We're going to look ahead to cricket's return, potentially. Well, not potentially, it's happening at the Olympics, but what's it going to look like in 2028? Hopefully a bit better than breakdancing. DC's tour of the World Championship of Legends. Great tour over there, and playing against some of the best of yesteryear, but not too far away from yesteryear. It's a good time over there, DC?
Great time. We had a wonderful time. Yeah, not quite at the geriatric stage yet. There are a few of them not far off it, but we had a great time.
Voltaren sponsor the tour?
Yes, they did.
Also.
Binger had a stash from over the last 20 odd years that he pulled out, and yeah, it was handy having someone like that in the change room.
We'll get into some great stories about some great cricketers in a moment. We'll answer some more secret cricket club questions. Okay. Have you looked at them yet,
No.
Heels? No?
I haven't.
I kept them secret. Well
Yeah.
done. Well
It's
done.
a secret.
That's on our Instagram page, by the way, so check it out. There's a little link there for the Secret Cricket Club. And we're going to finish with Sundries and some big news for England cricket as well, pertaining to one Ben Stokes. Now, thanks to those who have sent us some kind messages about our recent episodes, Phoebe Litchfield, Mark Taylor and Mike Whitney. I'll just start giggling when because we did it a few weeks ago, didn't we, Hills? And I was away at the Olympics, and on the Instagram feed, all the stories pop up. Oh yeah, he said that. Oh yeah, that story about Booney, that was fun. So
Yeah. It was more that I was late to everything for the rest of the day because he went 2 hours overtime.
yeah,
But,
and we asked 4 questions.
Yeah, the story after story.
Yeah, he's a font of knowledge as well. Mike Whitney, drop us a DM on Instagram or TikTok, letting us know who you'd like to hear from on future episodes of the podcast. We asked the Secret Cricket Club members if they'd like David Boone to come on the show. 100% voted yes. It was like a North Korean election. It was incredible. So, all with Booney. How do we get Booney on the show?
We can make it happen.
You can make it happen?
I said we.
We?
Team
Don't
effort.
look at me.
Team effort. We can get it done.
I reckon
Surely.
Hads would surely know him.
No, Hads is useless. He's still on holidays.
He's still in Hungary, isn't he? Or Italy or somewhere. He's on tour.
Well, shout out to Karina who won. They won
Yes.
gold.
Yeah.
They won the world champs, which is pretty amazing.
Well-
Not that Hads will ever tell you that, but she's pretty cool.
She's a World Cup winner,
Yeah.
Karina Haddon. So well done. And they're having a great time over there, but hey, he can stay over there. Secondly, we want you to represent grassroots cricket here on Willow Talk. Now, this is important. This is pretty cool. If you've seen our social clips or watched the show on YouTube, you'll know that Hads has his fair share of retro caps and hats plugging his mates' companies. I just wear hats to cover up the dicey looking ones in the lighting we've got in here in the room. I get no payment, whatever, but I'm not sure about hats. I'm pretty sure. Mate, have you seen his trucker hat collection?
No.
He's like a old NASCAR driver. All the hats that he's got, it's an amazing array of sponsorship that he's got going. Anyway, so we wear hats. That's what we're trying to say. As much as we love that, though, it's valuable real estate. So we want cricket club hats from around the country to be sent in, and we'll wear them on the show to give your club a bit of a boost. Send in your club's cap, trucker hat preferred, not the baggy green style, and some words about your club to producer Sam, and we'll go from there. All the details are in this episode's notes, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Below is the episode notes. All the details about how to enter and flick us a cap, and we'll wear it on the show as well. Amazing. I've got my, it doesn't fit anymore, my old Beacon Hill Youth Cricket Club cap. And back in the day, we were sun safe. So we had the baggy green style. It was blue and yellow, but it had the old Ivan Lendl
Oh, the mud flap.
Legionnaires one. Yeah, the mud flap to protect the neck. If you got those, I'll wear that one. Hads probably won't wear that one, but
Yes.
I'll whack that on. So, what was your what would your
Carlingford Waratahs. I just
Carlingford
found mine the
Waratahs.
other day.
Did
It's
ya?
baggy green style. Yeah, I was unpacking some boxes in the house and found all my old, like growing up cricketing hats, even my Barker hat, like for school and stuff as well. So I'll have to wear one in.
And old mate over here ended up with more hats than Universal Store.
Yeah.
But what was the first one?
Oh, my first one was Narrandera, where I grew up in
Mm.
the country, and then when I came to Sydney, I was at Campbelltown Collegians.
Campbelltown College.
Oh.
What colour was the Narrandera one?
Narrandera were blue and yellow.
Yep.
And Campbelltown Collegians were light blue and maroon.
Okay.
Same as my St Greg's colours, actually. where I went
Yeah,
to
St
school.
Greg's College out there. What was Carlingford?
Like a light blue.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Not Maroon, the team that you support in rugby league
Oh,
sometimes.
let it go.
No. We won, by the way.
Yeah.
We won, by the way. Okay, let's get into the show. So, yeah, send in your caps, and we'd love to have as many as possible, and we'll give them a plug on the show. Olympics.
Mm.
What do you like about the Olympics, by the way, before we move on to cricket entering the fray in 2028?
I love that the Olympics sneaks up on you. Obviously, if you're not involved, if you're
Mm.
involved, it doesn't sneak up on you. But for me, I was kind of aware that it was starting, but then when it's on, you're watching it for 2 weeks straight. Like I find that quite remarkable.
Mm.
I loved the team sports. Like I get around the swimming and the athletics and kind of like cheer Aussies on, but the team sports this year were amazing. Like the basketball, Australia did really well. The water polo did really well. Hockey not so great, but the team sports for me are what does it.
Not your brother-in-law?
Yeah, I watched him. I was yelling at my laptop screen because that's where I was watching it that night. But yeah, I mean that's cool. Like you get him behind the individual sports, but the team sports this year are elite.
He nearly got there, but he's carried an injury, Brandon, hasn't he? So, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the way it goes sometimes. So, it was a great event. DC, what did you take out of it?
I reckon I cried for 2 weeks straight. I
Cried?
absolutely loved it. Like got right into it.
Turn the
got
taps
really
on, do
invested.
you?
Oh, big time.
Wow.
Like when just watching people, bust their backsides and go as well as they possibly can, and then the joy and excitement that they get from that, and then I'd stop crying, and then you'd get into the medal ceremony, and I'd go again, and then they'd pan to the families in the crowd. I just loved it, absolutely love it.
The family ones killed me. Like, and not in terms of kill me, like just, whoops. Oh, a lot of dust in here all of a sudden. Like
know
say the BMX rider,
Yeah.
the Fox
Yeah,
girls
yeah.
jumping in and celebrating together.
I've got a question though. Like
Mm.
it's maybe an unpopular opinion, but proposing to an athlete at the Olympic Games,
There's 5 of them.
like,
Mm.
are you stealing the limelight a little bit? Like, let them have their moment,
Well, the last
or are
one
we
was
saying that that's okay?
the last one was a Brazilian triple jumper who finished 11th.
Okay, so giving the limelight.
People were celebrating behind him, and
Oh.
he's decided to go, nah, this is my moment. Camera, come over here. I'm going to. Fortunately for him, he didn't get the old custard pie. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about this. He got the tick. But yeah, 5 of them.
I don't know.
I'm okay. It was in Paris as well, though. Like, I'm not sure how many are going to be proposing down in Fortitude Valley in 2032 or down near the Brown Snake, but it's in Paris.
We'll then do it under the Eiffel Tower or
Yeah,
on the
after.
bank of the river or something. You don't have to do it in the stadium like
Yeah,
halfway through your event.
When you're telling that story later to like
Yeah.
your kids and your grandkids, oh, how did Grandpa propose to you? Oh, yeah, after my event where I finished 12th at the Olympic Games in Paris. Like, come on, guys.
How do we feel about cricket being there then? And what do you hope it looks like?
Well, I'm excited to see it after getting a little taste of the Com Games in Birmingham. That was a really cool experience, and being a part of something bigger than just cricket, like a larger team. Excited to see what it looks like. I'll be intrigued to see what the facilities are like. Just after the Men's World Cup, the wicket in New York didn't go too well, so have to fix a few things there. But I think it's exciting. I mean, that American market is something we keep trying to tap into. So the Olympics is no bigger stage than that, I would have thought.
I agree. I think it'll be brilliant. And that's that one thing about that the Com Games. It looked great to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That extended team, and get involved in the village and going to watch the other sports, and
It was pretty cool.
Just on that, 2026, it's not outside the realms of possibility that there's a Com Games
Yeah,
still
I
on.
did hear
So
that.
Glasgow
Yeah.
might be putting their hands up. So, hey, just,
Well, golf.
yeah. We're going over there to play golf, or are you going to go and play cricket over
Yeah,
there and
cricket
go
on the
back to
side.
back? No, the firstly, the venue, that's the key, isn't it? Because they want 6 teams each. So you'd imagine it's just one pool and then they'll go into semis from that. So you can't play all those games on one deck.
Well, so in Birmingham, because it was only women's cricket that was in there,
Mm.
it was kind of, you could get away with it, and they had the hybrid wickets where you could play game after game after game on them, and they wouldn't deteriorate.
So what's the difference hybrid wicket to a normal straight out natural wicket?
It's like, you might be able to explain a bit more, I'm not a grass nerd, but it's like a normal wicket, but it's got artificial turf, like grass that comes through it, so it lasts longer. So they played a bulk of the games on them, and then the final was on a real turf wicket. Not saying it's not a real turf wicket, but you know what I mean.
Was there a big difference though in quality?
The hybrids are like a little bit slower, like I feel
Okay.
like, and it can do a little bit more. I remember facing a new ball on it and it did a bit, but they're perfect to play tournament play on in that
Right.
regard. But then in the Olympics, having the men's and the women's cricket, are they at the same venue? Then how many wickets are you going to need? How are you going to space it out?
Mm.
It's going to have to be over multiple venues, I would have thought. But then
Yeah.
how do you do that in America?
But at the moment, they're saying it's just one venue at the moment, but nothing's been set in stone, DC. But how do you want it to look like?
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be 2020 as opposed to a T10. If it's T10, then maybe
Yeah.
it's a bit different. You don't have to make it as big, but
Mm.
I mean, it is 4 years away. But yeah, it'd have to be. It might only be like a top 8, top 6 even that make it through there, and they do a lot of qualifying leading in wherever that might be, and then
Well, the ICC
Keep it tight.
proposed a 6-week tournament. The thing about the Olympics, the IOC have one rule, hard and fast rule. We don't want any more than 10,500 athletes at this event because then it becomes too big. So they have to limit it. And what they're doing, they're bringing in, at the next Olympics, they're bringing in cricket, baseball, softball. So it's men's, women's, men baseball,
Yeah.
women's softball,
Lacrosse.
squash, lacrosse, flag football.
Yeah.
Out goes breaking, which was only 32 athletes, 31, depending on your perspective on life. Love your ray gun. The possibility of boxing is high that it's going to go. So that's a lot of athletes. So what I'm saying is here, I think the size of the tournament will depend on what the IOC come up with some of these other events like modern pentathlon and weightlifting. Their heads on the chopping block as well. But 6 to 8, you still got a pretty good tournament with 6. You've got the best of the best.
It sounds like it's going to be 6 because you're taking out a lot of individual sports and adding like 6 team sports in there. So that's going to be a really difficult balance.
and it's only 2 weeks, so you can't. It'd be too hard to fit it all in.
So you got back to back. So you'll go men's first week, like the golf was at the Olympics. So they're not run at the same time.
Yeah, which I don't understand. They should have done that at the same time. But yeah, that'll be how you split it. So I immediately thought double headers. So it'd be like if the girls play, then the blokes play, or vice versa. But yeah, they would have to split it up if that's the way that they do it.
Yeah, they're going to do it. But it's back for the first time since 1900.
Yeah.
You going to make it?
No. Don't
No?
be silly.
Why not?
Well, I'm now at level 3 certified, so maybe I'll go as a coach.
Are you
That's
doing
why
your
we're-
coaching
Yeah.
courses at the
That's
moment?
why we were at our coaching course last week, just to try and get a ball throwing
Sniff
job
out
at
a
the
job.
Olympics.
Yeah.
I feel like I ask this same question to Mitch every time he's in here. How long you got left? But no, but in all seriousness, you have not got that on your radar at all.
No, my ears pricked up a little bit at the Com Games one, but I still think that's out of reach. So 2028 I'll be 38.
Mate, it's nearly 2025.
I'll have to have kids at some point.
Don't look at your age as a defining characteristic of your character. You just go with how you feel.
Played my
You
best
feel-
cricket at 38.
There you go.
Did you have to pop out a child?
My wife did.
Yeah.
That would have been a story if you did.
Yeah. Ooh.
That would have been a rather large story.
What I will answer to that is thank you very much for the confidence in my body and my ability to still be playing good cricket at 38. I really appreciate the confidence, but it won't be happening.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Louis Cameron from cricket.com.au has looked at what the Aussie men's team might look like at the Olympics. He's ruled out anyone over the age of 35.
Stiff.
So he's got your rule. What are you saying, Steve? It's your rule as well. He's gone Travis Head, captain, Jake Fraser, Matt Short, Inglis, David, Timmy David, Cooper Connolly, Pat, Nathan Ellis, Spencer Johnson, Tanveer Sanger. And he says the women's team is still pretty young as well. He didn't go through one for one, but the only ones north of 35 in 2028 will be E. Perry and A. Healy.
Mm.
So you can both be on the coaching staff. The pair
Bez
of
will
you.
still be playing. Bez will still be playing at 40, so she'll be in there.
Yeah.
Might be skipper.
I mean, let's be honest. The only reason the IOC are doing this is because of India and the potential to boost TV revenue, which is fine. Do it. Are you genuinely pumped about the prospect of cricket being in there? Because golf has had a weird relationship, and tennis as well. Tennis had a lot of pull-outs, and it was like, people weren't overly keen to play. And, yeah, we still had that Djokovic moment, but there was a few gaps in the draw. Golf, it felt like 2016, everyone went, this shouldn't be here. But this time around, the third time in, everyone was like, oh, this is so cool. This is golf at its most purest form. Where do we feel about cricket being in Olympic Games as opposed to where you line it up against the World Cup?
Well, it's one of the most popular sports in the world, so it makes sense to me to be in the Olympics.
But from a playing perspective, is everyone going to be falling over themselves to get involved?
I reckon they will. Yeah, to be a part of that, similar to what we spoke about earlier with the Com Games for Midge, having that full team thing going on, I reckon it's awesome. I reckon it'd be fantastic.
I think initially going into the Com Games, everyone was a little bit like, oh, how do we fit in here and like how do we feel about it? It's a bit odd. But then once we were there, we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, so I reckon
you felt totally part of the team, and the other parts of the team were like, oh, cool, the cricketers are here.
Yeah, it was like COVID, so we were separate from the village, but we had beach volleyball and someone else with us, so we were kind of had bits and bobs, and then we were allowed to go into the village as well. But yeah, we went into the village one day and like sat around with the hockey players and all
cool.
the rest, and like did all that. So yes. But interestingly, I did read the other day that, and I didn't know this, that so cricket will be an exhibition sport in the Olympics, right? Because it's like kind of new. And apparently they don't get the same medals as like everybody else. So if you're an exhibition sport, you get a smaller version of the Olympic medal.
Really?
And I was like, well, I'm not going. I'm not going to win a real medal. I'm not going. But yeah, it's the same thing, just slightly smaller.
I thought it was in. I thought it was like...
No, it's technically like going to be an exhibition sport.
I knew flag football was going to be that and lacrosse. I thought cricket was...
So are you a gold medalist then if you win? Or
yes, but just slightly less so than...
Just a gold-plated
Are you on the medal tally?
Than Kaylee McEwen. Like, yeah, okay. It all counts. It's just like you don't get...
That's
anyway,
weird.
that may have come from Wikipedia, so you might want to...
we'll verify that. Now, Ray Gunn, we mentioned her, wore a kit which could have passed for the one-day kit as well, the green one, which leads me to this question. Who's the best breakdancer in the Australian women's cricket team?
Well, I don't know how to answer that anymore because I don't know what breakdancing is anymore. So,
who is the most rhythmically adept?
One of the young kids, like, I don't know, Sophie Molyneux or the like. Sophie Molyneux would probably injure something trying, but that is the first one to spring to mind. Everyone else is a bit too rigid. Yeah,
what their go-to would be the sprinkler or the shopping trolley.
I can hands down say that if I got a letter in the mail and it said you're about to represent Australia at breaking at the Olympics, I would pull out the sprinkler. Like, what an opportunity to do it, as if you wouldn't.
DC, who would you, from the cricket world that you've seen?
I was from the
carve
Legends Tour.
From the Legends Tour.
Anyone in your amazing career where you played in every corner of the globe, you looked at and went, I'm not getting on the dance floor with that bloke because I'll look like an idiot next to him.
Also, if you can't answer, it's you.
No, it's definitely not me. It looks like someone like Zamps.
Zampa?
Zamps would get right into it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's got that quirk about him to be into something like that. Yeah.
There you go. That's cricket at the Olympics. Looking forward to that in 2028. Legends League. So, DC, last month in the UK, you competed in the World Championships of Legends. 6 teams, Australia, England, India, South Africa, West Indies, Pakistan, full of greats of the game. Retired, but greats of the game. Put on by a company in India who got them all together over there. And what happened? How was it?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful couple of weeks. We had a great time. We were based in Birmingham. And we had the South Africans in our hotel as well, and then all the other teams were sort of spread everywhere else. But it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. We had a good time.
What was the level of competitiveness about it when you were actually playing?
The standard's probably 5th grade.
Yeah.
But the competitiveness right up there. It started off a bit lax, but then it started to get, once the competitive juices started flowing a bit and blokes started chasing balls a bit harder and diving a bit more and trying to bowl a bit quicker. And
But is it like when a car that has seen better days, you hit the floor, you hit the accelerator to the floor, and the thing just blows up? Or is there a bit of that?
And it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, very much so. The one thing we found, the bowling, because you can't just bowl any faster once you get to 45, 48. Some of these blokes, so they can still run in and they can still land it there, but it's 30k slower than they want it to be, and
It's more hittable.
yeah, and they haven't practiced their Yorkers, so they're missing Yorkers. And whereas the batting was at the beginning of the tournament, the batting was kind of average, and then once guys got into the swing of things a bit and started hitting balls again, then the batting came back.
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
Who started you said once the competitiveness came out, who started that? Like, was it one person or a team that all of a sudden was like, we're showing up today?
Yeah, it was when we played India. That was the third game, and we got there, and the Indians have got support staff coming out their backside. So masseuses and physios and bowling coach and batting coach and fielding coach, and they're there an hour and a half before the game doing a full warm up.
What?
And we get off the bus, half an hour before the start with coffees in our hand, and
Yeah.
we didn't take it that seriously. And then we saw how serious they were, and we all had a bit more of a dip.
Was there a good crowd there that day?
Good crowd, yeah, good crowd at all the games. It was they was obviously promoted really well, and it was good.
Excellent. In your side, you had Brett Lee, Finchy, Tim Payne, Cutting, Marsh, yourself, Xavier Doherty, Nathan Coulter, Nile, Ben Lachlan, Ben Dunk, Peter Siddle. He wouldn't be far off his top. He's still sending him down as well. Dirk Nannes, Cal Ferguson. So,
yeah, well, Sid's is still playing.
Yeah. He wouldn't
state
have lost
cricket.
his pace.
Yeah, he's a little bit slower than he was. He's 38, I think, but can still land it wherever he wants to land it, and still doing really well in first class cricket. So he was good. Coults is only 36, and Coults was, he played Big Bash last year, so he was a bit quick for the old blokes.
What about Brett Lee? What's his pace like these days?
He would have been, I'm going to say, mid 120s.
Mid 120s
at 49.
I saw a video of him bowling, and everything looks like
looks
Brett
exactly
Lee,
the
right?
same.
And then it just came out a little less zippy.
Just a touch.
But
less
I was
zippy,
like,
yeah.
oh, this actually could be 150, and it was.
But
he
but
still
not quite.
put it on the spot.
Yeah, still put it on the spot. Still swung it, and well and truly in the contest. When you talk about who was sort of the most competitive, Bingo was right up there.
Given what he put his body through, for how quick he bowled at his top, and he held it for a number of years there, I'm surprised he can even run in.
Yeah,
these
well,
days. Like
he's
I don't know how he's still together.
Well, he's as fit as I've ever seen him. We all said that when we got there. We were like, well, we can tell who's been training for this.
He's sharpening
was
himself
fit
off.
as a fiddle. Yeah, looked great. And
Yeah. Who won?
the Indians.
Oh.
The Indians were a bit too good in the end. They
But you guys in the semi?
absolutely flogged us in the semi. They got a 250 or something like that, and we couldn't keep up.
Poof.
It was a good tournament. It was good. Like I said, it was great fun. But the standard was, the scores reflected the bowling standard dropping off. We got 270 against the West Indies, and
Well, talk us about that, because personally you had a good day there.
I didn't have a bad day that day. Yeah.
50 off 15 balls I've got in front of me here.
Yeah.
Hang on, you were telling a story last week about how you set up your innings and you give yourself 10 balls. So did you hit the last 5 balls for 6?
I came in
go from ball 1.
No, I came in. I think there were about 9 overs left when I came in at Dunkey, and Dunkey'd already got his 100.
Yeah.
And I think we were already about 140 off about 10. So we just decided to.
All care, no responsibility.
Yeah, we decided to keep slogging. And got to my 50 off 15, and then kept going. And then Nathan Coulter and I came out, and I was on about 65 or 70 or something like that. And he said, 3 overs left. He said, right, I'm not going to face another ball. You face every ball for the rest of the innings and try and get yourself 100. And then I got the shanks.
Oh.
So got down to I was 98 with 1 left.
Yeah.
and shanked it out to deep mid wicket and got run out, come back for 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who ran you out?
I can't remember.
What a
Can't
jerk.
remember.
Who did run you out? Like, honestly.
It's not like you're in with a hope of chasing it down. 200.
Yeah.
Well, they did have Chris Gale, but
Two-
yeah.
270 odd, yeah. So run out for 99.
How'd you feel about that, the 99?
By that stage, I was exhausted.
Oh,
I
you
was
were
absolutely cooked. Yeah,
You couldn't
even though
get
I'd
one.
only faced 30 odd balls.
What?
Why are you asking that question?
I don't know. Wasn't a test match. I mean, oh, sorry.
I reckon that was my.
This summer, okay? This summer it'll happen for you. I guarantee you.
I'm going to cry.
I guarantee you. Hey, it's all set up for you at the MCG.
No, I laughed.
The day nighter.
Yeah, all right. I
Okay.
laughed because at the 100 the other night, Beth Mooney made 99 not out. And I wasn't watching the game. There were weird times, but I messaged a mate and was like, who stitched up Moons on 99? Like, what happened? And she's like, shanked it to long on. And Sophie Eccleston got run out coming back for the second.
The other end.
But it looked like she went back because she hit it past the bowler. She went back to try. And I'm like, you should be already 3/4 of the way down the wicket before Moons has hit the ball.
Yeah.
But she like stopped and then got out.
Oh, she was worried
Coming
about being
back.
run out off the bowler.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Oh.
Moons is on 98. Like, run hard.
Oh, no.
Got run
Yeah.
out by half a wicket.
Who was the best tourist? Come on, let's go.
Um,
These quick fire questions. Tourist questions.
Binger. Binger was good. Binger was like,
Having a great time?
he was in the bar every night,
Yeah.
and made sure that everyone was there with him and enjoying themselves. And
Karaoke?
no karaoke.
No.
A
Didn't
few of the
get up?
guys had their families with them there though, so it was a great little.
Okay.
It was a great little.
Wasn't a boys trip?
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
but it was a
What do you mean by that?
great little environment.
Well, you just act like a 21-year-old again. Certain exceptions, but yeah.
Callum Ferguson was very good.
Yep. Honourable
particularly-
mentions.
Yeah, particularly off the field. His brother lives over there these days, and he's very well connected. So we got to play some extremely good golf
I
courses.
knew you were going to go down that path.
We spent a day at Wimbledon. It
Oh,
was,
cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. We had a good time.
Sweet. Who sat where on the team bus? Who was your go-to? Or it was at this stage of life you don't really care about those
No, we all just
things? Just hop on.
Yeah, first one on, sit wherever you like.
Any pinged hamstrings?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a hamstring. Ben Lachlan did a calf, I think, in the second last game.
I'd go lean towards calf
Yeah,
before hamstring. I was like, surely there's a calf that went.
Once you hit late 30s, it's calves.
There are so many fourth graders who are just helping the club out right now. This podcast has never been more relatable to them than this right now, with calves pinging and not caring where you're sitting and having a good time after it.
We did have the super sub rule though, where you could bat and not have to field. So Sean Marsh was our designated batsman,
Was he?
and he still struck it as well as anyone, as
Yeah.
well as he did. He smacked it last year in the Big Bash, but we just decided he was not allowed to field,
Yeah.
just so they didn't do a string.
So, was there any player from your squad or another squad that could still maybe compete today at international level, if not first class level? Well, obviously, Sids is still playing, but you know
Sids
what I
is
mean,
still playing. Sean Marsh should still be able to do it at first class level
with a runner.
with a runner. Well, first class level, he's stand at first slip and hit
Yeah,
boundaries,
true.
particularly over at the Wacker. Ben Dunk's still doing really well. He's still playing a lot of the T20 leagues around the place
Hmm.
and still killing it. The Indian guys, Yuvraj was very good. Yusuf Pathan was very good. Yeah, they've still got it.
The Pakistan boys as well.
And the Pakistan boys don't look a day over 28. They've all dyed their hair and their
I've
beards,
done
and they all look amazing, fit as fiddles. They look like they've like they were training for months leading into this, and played very well, apart from getting knocked over by India.
I didn't think Pakistan was a big society into just for men, but there we go. It's a big market.
No comment.
Big market. Anyway.
What I'm hearing is they need a team manager and they need, a female player. So we're coming next year.
It sounds like a horrible trip.
Yeah.
It's on every year?
It's on every year. They signed a deal with Edgbaston with Warwickshire Cricket Club, and it's going to be on for the next couple of years there. So
Actually, scrap that. I'll come as coach.
Yep.
yes, we need a coach. Actually, we
Mm.
we
I
do
was just
need a
gonna
coach.
do this.
We need a coach. We need all sorts of support staff.
Manager.
Team manager. I'll load all the golf clubs on the bus as long as I can bring mine. Off to a quick
We've got a
break.
cameraman out there too.
Yes. Producer Sam, he's on the way. Oh, imagine all the interviews we get, Sammy. Hey, Willow Talk, send us. While we workshop that, we'll take a little spell and back in a second with your questions from the Secret Cricket Club. The Secret Cricket Club is our channel on the Willow Talk Instagram page where members get extra stuff, behind-the-scenes content, and have a say on the show. What's the behind-the-scenes content, I wonder? Hopefully.
I hope that camera's not on all the time.
What are we talking about out there? Can we just have a listen back to that? No. Join in and get involved. Yeah, as mentioned, it's on the Instagram page. Check it out. And we've got some questions here. So everything Usman, not the Uzi, but everything Usman asks. Prospect of Zampa entering the test fold. It's been thrown up. Now, Adam Zampa said on the Final Word podcast, we have no rivals here at Willow Talk. We like everyone who does a cricket podcast. Zamps reckons he's still a realistic chance of playing test cricket and that if he was playing Shield cricket, he thinks he'd be doing fine. So we've got a tour of Sri Lanka coming up in the frame.
I think he's in the frame if he can get some Shield cricket leading in. Mm-hmm. I don't want him to get. I wouldn't like to see him get picked on the back of no Shield cricket. I'd like to see him get some wickets and bowl some 25 over days and things like that to see how he goes on the back of that. But yeah, ability wise, there's no reason why he can't do it.
Pat said he's going to play a bit of Shield cricket as well before the summer, which is interesting.
We'll see.
we will see. We will see.
But that's the thing, right? And he said if he was playing Shield cricket, but why isn't he then? He's around that time of year. There's not a heap going on. Surely you're sticking your hand up and you're like, I want to play. I need to play for New South Wales. If it's not New South Wales, whoever it might be in Shield cricket, and I want to go on that tour to Sri Lanka. I've got to prove myself, right? So if he wants to do it, I think he's just got to prove it.
Yeah. I think with the prospect of World Test Championship and everything, the notion of taking a second spinner that's going to develop into one day the replacement for Nathan Lyon, I think that gets shoved aside, doesn't it? You take whoever the best spinner is. And if it's Adam Zampa, who might not be around in 5 years' time, whatever, take him. I think he'd be good over there.
Yeah, I agree. Swepson's been in the wings for a while. Kuhneman did well over in the subcontinent last time. So I don't know how he'd fit in, but like I said, if he's taking wickets in Shield cricket and he's nice and consistent in Shield cricket and getting through it, then why not?
He's got the right attributes as well. It seems like every time we've taken a leg spinner, it hasn't quite worked. It's almost like the ball's done too much in the modern game, whereas at least Zampa's attacking the stumps and challenging both sides of the bat, which I think is good in Sri Lanka.
Pat asks, are we worried that half our team, the men's test team, I'm guessing he's saying here, is going to retire at once?
Was it Pat Cummins who asked that?
maybe he's just forward planning.
I think they know that. They know that that's going to eventuate at some point. But I think short term, they're enjoying what that is giving them. And that's a really settled group. Everyone's over 30 in that test team at the moment. And they're playing some really good cricket because they all know a lot about one another and a lot about their own games. So, yes, I think there will be a side of it that they're going to have to start bringing some younger players through at some point to give them experience. But I think at the moment they're just riding that and trying to win as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, I agree. But then even if they do retire, it doesn't mean that you have to pick a team full of 21-year-olds. You can pick guys that are in their mid-30s that might only play for 2 years and can still do a great job. Think of, Adam Voges, Chris Rogers, even Mike Huss. Only played 5 years or so. Still ended up being one of Australia's, best ever. We can still fill the gaps, I think, pretty comfortably.
Here's a question that I can't answer because it wouldn't have got anywhere near it. Trent, what's the feeling like when you hit a ball onto the roof of a stadium?
I wouldn't know.
DC, you got this one then by the looks.
It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling because it's not often that you swing as hard as you possibly can and it hits the middle of the bat. Like you can hit the middle of the bat when you're trying to stroke one, or you might try and smack a six and you won't quite get it and it'll get over the fence. But it's very, very rare that you swing as hard as you possibly can and it hits the middle.
Where did you hit the roof?
Gabba.
Did you ever hit the inside of the roof at Marvel?
No.
That's a big hit.
That's a big hit.
Straight
That's
up.
a long way up. Yep. No, that one at the Gabba, that was ridiculous.
Yeah. That's a high roof. That's
It's not a small ground either.
That's not like
Yeah, it's a big
the
ground.
member stand at the SCG.
Nah,
That's
just
a
when you get the-
long way
yeah.
up.
Yep. No, it was a decent one. Yep.
Absolutely.
It's the modern day bats.
Yeah, it is. It's the
Yeah.
bats. That's the bats. Brad has got a question. Who is an uncapped player to make their debut for Australia this summer in any format? Oh. Got any youngsters in your midst that you got your eye on? Captain? Captain, oh, captain?
Yeah.
But you don't want to say it because you don't want to get their hopes up.
Yeah, well, it's a hard one because
It is,
we're
yeah.
hopefully going to play our best 11 in every fixture because they're big games this summer. But if I was going to pick one that could potentially do it, Charlie Knott.
Mhm.
She springs to mind. She could play a role for Australia over this summer.
No promises, Charlie, by the way. It doesn't mean that you kind of book your flights and everything like that. It's
Well, at the time of this recording, they're currently playing against India Ray and
Yeah.
chasing a decent total. So come on, Charlie.
fair enough. Fair enough. DC, you got someone?
Two.
Yep.
I'll give you two batsmen that I think I would like to see get an opportunity leading into the next T20 World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Silk,
Oh,
who has been outstanding for the Sydney Sixers for the last however long,
Mm.
particularly in the last 5 years where they've been either won the comp or been in the top two, and he's been a big part of that. So I think he deserves an opportunity. Still only 32, best fielder in the country.
Given how we fielded in the West Indies as well.
He'd be a handy inclusion. Yeah.
Yep. And in that, fit into that middle order somewhere.
Yep.
And then the other one I think will be Ollie Davies.
Yep.
Who's been a guest on here and
Mhm.
done wonderfully well last year for New South Wales and really finding his feet in all three formats. I'd like to see him get a go.
I don't care about Ollie as long as I beat him in golf
Yeah.
on the odd occasion that he plays at Longreef. That's the only thing that really
He
concerns
walks
me.
He walks off after like 9 bad holes anyway,
Oh.
so the resilience is low.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ollie. No, we'll wait and see. There's a stack of young players coming through as well because we've had great success in the men's side, the under 19s recently. So see if there's a transition in the next 4 years or so. But there's plenty of opportunities. There's so much cricket coming up in all formats. So we'll wait and see with that one. Andy asked, best player DC played with or against? There you go. There's an open-ended one for you.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough one.
You're going to disrespect someone here that you don't mention.
Well, I'm just going to sit on the fence and say Ponting, Tendulkar, Callis, Sangakkara.
Bit of name dropping going
Wow.
over here.
Yeah,
Played some cricket, have you?
played some cricket.
Bradman, W.G. Grace,
Yeah, I'm
Douglas
almost
Jardine, great leader.
Keith Miller.
Keith Miller. Oh, what a raconteur he was.
Punter.
Punter. Okay,
Let's stick with punter.
there you go. Well, you're not going to get a no from me that you're wrong. so
Yeah.
There's no wrong answers there, DC. No
Good
wrong
answer.
answers. Shelley asks as well, would you put Tubby's diving commentary at about an 8.5 out of 10?
Look, I'm going to defend him here because I did like a day with him a couple of weeks leading into before the Olympics, and I was like, "What's next for you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm actually doing the diving commentary at the Olympics," and I was like, "Pardon?" And he was like, "Yeah," but he was working so hard, like he was catching up quite regularly with like the experts and like watching footage and working out what's what. So I'm going to give him some credit and say he put in the hard yards. Like he genuinely did. He didn't just show up and say, "Oh, no splash, good job." So I'm going to give him some credit and give him, an 8.5 out of 10. Fine.
So-
But I can also understand the flack that he's being given because why would Mark Taylor be doing the diving comms?
In saying that, Jared Waitley did the athletics, and I've never known Jared Waitley to do athletics. He's done other sports. He does other sports, but it's because he's known for doing other sports that he can just seamlessly pop in. Like Matt
Yeah.
Hill was doing the rowing.
Yeah.
He's he's Australia's best race cooler, and he never does rowing. But they chucked him in. He didn't cop any flack. So I'm with you. I thought it was a bit harsh on Tubby because you can tell when someone hasn't done their research and has just rocked up and is either completely underprepared or completely overawed by the situation. He
It's
was
me
neither.
weekly.
That's a hard thing. He had the expert next to him to
Yeah.
go through the technical details.
But you'd say like Jared Waitley is a genuine broadcaster, right? Like so he would know how to like run the commentary side of it, and then you have the experts. Whereas like Mark Taylor probably less broadcaster, more of a
But he's done a bit of lead
cricket
for
expert.
cricket. Yeah, he's done a fair bit.
Yeah, but in cricket.
In cricket, yeah, it's true. He hasn't done other sports, but
Yeah.
You can pigeonhole really easily, and I
Yeah.
thought it was
Good effort, my books.
Was good effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine me doing the breakdancing commentary.
you just,
Oh, what's she doing now?
just need to shut up and watch and
Yeah.
go, oh, okay, that's pretty good. Who can't spit on their head?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to Sundries now. You mentioned it before, Heels. Australia A v India A in Brisbane. Australia A won the T20 series 3-0, so they're playing a one-dayer now.
Yeah, a couple
as
of
we sit here right now. Okay, who popped out at you as handy performers? And you need to build depth. Obviously, you got your 11, whatever. But who's around that who can pop in? And this is a great idea to have a series at this time of year to try and work that out.
Yeah, well, I think they're kind of planning another similar feel for next year as well, because we've got a bit of a quiet winter. Like, who can Aussie play against to get this experience? But we're actually up there doing our high performance coaching course, so everyone was hanging off the balcony at lunch or afternoon tea watching the games. So you can ask DC about it as well. But for mine, it was awesome to see Talia McGrath, come into her own and looking in some really good form leading into the summer. She obviously wanted to be a part of this. Didn't have to play, but wanted to be a part of it, wanted to skip her and get some games under her belt leading into the summer. So that was cool. But Talia Wilson making runs in the T22 was awesome. I mean, they picked Talia Wilson to open with Katie Mack, which is feels like in contrast to where T20 is going. Normally you put the two big whackers out there early, and their dynamic was awesome. They got off to great starts. You wouldn't say that they're out and out power hitters, but got the team off to great starts every time, and Tales went on to make a few. So that was really cool. And to see Tay back bowling, it looked rhythmical, which is probably more important than anything else. That was really important for us this summer.
So you're doing your high performance coaching.
You can't call it level 3 anymore. It's high performance coaching. Yeah,
High performance coaching. What, like hard?
We sat there giggling to one another a lot, but
Okay, because you knew what was going on.
No.
Or
No, it was
you did?
well. Despite having played a lot of cricket, we covered some things that we had no idea about.
Like what?
I don't know, like how to manage people and stuff.
Yeah, people managing and relationship building and all sorts of stuff like that, which is
You're the captain of the Australian cricket team. I don't know, managing people and stuff.
Well, the most eye-opening one for me, part of it for me, was on the last day where it was basically just like what not to do about screwing someone's technique up, and I'm sitting there so if a young kid comes in my net, I'm like, I can't teach them about technique because if I screw them up now, they're never going to come back again. So it's it was really daunting.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
there was
weird.
A bit of that. Yeah.
So what's the intervention then?
We just got to learn how to do it properly.
Ask more questions.
Yeah,
what
ask more
How
questions.
do you feel?
Yeah,
Get on their level.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's as much about the psychology of the sport than, to use that word,
Probably-
not
probably
proper
more so
psychology.
than-
Yeah,
probably more so than the technical
Yeah.
expertise that we've probably learnt over the years.
Interesting. Ben Stokes has been ruled out of the Test summer in England there after tearing his left hamstring playing in the 100. Sure, that just made everyone feel good about themselves at the ECB. Ollie Pope's going to captain England for the 3-match series against Sri Lanka, and immediately Chris Wokes was told, no more 100 for you, pal. You can just put your feet up because we're going to need you for these 3 tests. Huge blow for England in a series, let's be honest, that they should handle. But you never know with Bazball. They could go over the top with it, and Sri Lanka could take advantage with the handy cricketers that they have. But overall, though, not great for Ben Stokes to keep the body in order, because that's going to define him in the next 2 years, is it not? All the injury worries he's had. Is he going to make an Ashes series again down here?
Well, yeah, I mean, I look at him and he looks really fit and lean, leaner than he's probably ever been playing cricket, which he's obviously put a lot of work in and awesome.
Carb free,
But, right.
maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
guessing. Yeah.
Anyway,
You can drop weight a lot with going out without carbs,
yeah, right.
which is why I'm still overweight
But you need
Yeah.
carbs to perform.
and think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it just shows the difference in intensities in, we speak a lot about this as nerdy stuff, but the T20 game. So actually coming from a test match, going back to playing the 100, it's actually a more intense game, obviously for a shorter period of time, but you're actually doing more and at a quicker pace. So it's no real surprise that coming from a test tour, someone comes back into that comp and does a soft tissue, because that's It's generally what happens, and Triple SM will be stoked that I do actually listen to them. So you're welcome.
You're even calling it Triple SM.
Yeah. So
Which is,
I mean, it's not great for England, but I mean,
yeah.
did he need to be playing in it?
For the competition, yeah, I think so.
Right.
But did he need to be opening the batting and running between wickets? Absolutely flat out. Then maybe not.
Hit sixes, mate.
But he did look better in that Test series against the West Indies. He looked like he was bowling as well as he has for a long time. No limping, knee was fine.
Yep.
Oh well.
There's a lot of sympathy in this room.
We don't care.
A lot of sympathy. Hopefully he gets
Good
back
luck,
to
Ollie
his
Pope.
best. Yeah, good luck, Ollie Pope. Ricky Ponting has ruled himself out of the England coaching gig in a announcement that surprised absolutely no one, I would have thought. Punter also predicts Australia will win the Border Gavaskar series 3-1. He's already throwing out predictions, Glenn McGrath style. Not the 5-0 that Glenn used to come out with, but still 3-1. Jeez, early, is it not, for that? Still winter.
Well, sometimes you get asked questions and you got to answer them.
Yeah.
So he's obviously just given an answer.
Well, you can just say, it's early. It's months away.
Nah, they'll prod you until you say it. So 3-1's generous. I was thinking 4-0, but, good on India winning one.
4-0. It'll rain in Sydney.
Yeah, or 3-0.
And Paddy Cummins has shared a pic on Instagram of his trivia team, which included listeners' very own Hamish Blake coming in second at pub trivia. Now, I've got no question about that, but I do have a question from your teammates past and present. Who's the biggest know-all and who's the biggest know-nothing? So who would you want on your trivia team? You go, come on, I'm going into trivia. Oh, yeah, let's get him. He just knows everything about everything. Or
What are
she.
you looking at me for?
You.
Or who would be the biggest liability? It's like, well, they're just there for vibes, basically. They're just there to buy the drinks so we don't miss a question. Go for it.
Chris Rogers,
Which one?
first picked.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Knows a lot about a lot.
Well travelled, intelligent.
Okay.
Yep, he's my first picked.
Bucky?
Smart.
Heels?
Well, funnily enough, we actually do trivia when we're up in Brisbane. It's
Brisbane?
Olympics Brisbane 2032. And Darcy Brown, surprisingly good. Like just social knowledge on things quite high.
You say that as though you're still surprised by it.
Yep.
Like surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So, okay.
She knows some stuff. Doesn't look like she does, but she does.
Like what?
Just random stuff. Like I said, social knowledge. Like just there could be a random question and she'll know the answer.
Okay. Just pluck it out.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't answer the
I'm
other
the
one.
liability because I think I know the answer and it's often wrong. So
And you're hard to talk out of the answer.
yep.
That's when
And
it
I've
gets trouble in trivia.
And I've had 6 beers and
Yeah.
it's definitely right, guys. It's
You're
right.
completely belligerent
Yeah.
of everyone
Yep.
else's opinion.
And I'm probably the scribe, so I've just written down my answer. So it's fine.
Always in control. DC?
I'm just going back through my old man team from England a couple of weeks ago. Dirk Nanez is up there as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty switched on.
Yep.
Snuff.
Pretty clever.
Well, he
bloke.
commentates in the ABC, so he has to have a level of knowledge about the world.
Is that why I didn't get asked?
The ABC. Yeah, that's why you're with us.
Triple M.
That's why you're with us, mate. DC? Come on, you can't dive out of this one.
Yeah.
You're going to disrespect someone.
Surely
but-
Aaron Finch is a liability.
Finchy actually, for the same reason you just said, he'll have 6 beers and he'll say something that he's just so headstrong about.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And stubborn about, and it'll be
He'll grab
nowhere
the
near
sheet,
right
write
answer.
it down, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go with Finch.
A Finch. There you go. Heels DC, thank you for that. Willow Talk back weekly at the moment. How long for, Sammy? Foreseeable future. 3 or 4 weeks. There you go. So weekly at the moment, Willow Talk. Enjoy your company today. Have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Thanks for listening to Willow Talk. Back soon. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.